Maritime Made is brought to you by Invest Nova Scotia. Experience and expertise strengthening your business.
Hope Blooms is a hub of social enterprises and programming based in North End Halifax, Nova Scotia, providing positive impacts to youth in the community. Its urban farm yielding agriculture and culinary programs engage youth to become agents of change from as young as 5 when they can start participating in this garden. The second social enterprise Hope Blooms launched was their successful fresh herb dressings.
Hope Blooms is a not-for-profit based in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and we do a lot of youth programming, youth social enterprises, and we have an urban agriculture farm that we do a lot of experiential learning and teaching through. So with this, we take kids in from ages of 7 to 16, and we kind of we do long-term mentorship with them, starting at this age of 7, and they go through our phases and levels in Hope Blooms. So you go through the gardening, you go through the business, and you receive the scholarship through your efforts being put in, and then you can take that scholarship and use that to do what you want to do. It's like post-secondary or just start a business. The Hope Blooms was founded by Jesse Jollimore in 2008. What began as a small plot in the urban downtown Halifax has grown into what we have now. So Jessie was one day walking past, she noticed this abandoned piece of land. She had the vision of seeing this community garden, and that's where it kind of began. She started with 8 youth. They just started growing simple vegetables and produce, then which kind of led to them starting their own social enterprise with the goal of giving back to the community.
Craig has been with Hope Blooms since their garden was just starting. Now he's achieving his red seal while instructing older members of the salad dressing team. He's making 2 of these delicious dressings today, starting with the basil pesto dressing. Fresh garlic is harvested from the garden in season, but today this ingredient and parmesan are collected from the freezer. Extra virgin olive oil, red wine vinegar, liquid honey, peppercorn, and sea salt are gathered from dry storage. Hope Blooms uses local suppliers for its ingredients as much as possible. The peppercorn is ground to make fresh cracked pepper. This is poured into a bowl. It's time to harvest fresh basil from the garden. Fresh sage is also picked for the maple sage balsamic dressing we'll be making next. Once back in the kitchen, Craig pours the basil into a colander. It's washed and dried and poured back into a bowl. The olive oil is poured into the mixing blender. Red wine vinegar is added. A handful of garlic is shaken out and tossed in. The fresh ground pepper gets poured in, followed by salt. Liquid honey is opened and added next. Parmesan is measured out and tossed into this mixture that's now beginning to settle. The lid is placed on, and everything is blended. Afterwards, it's time for a taste test. The taste is good, and now this basil pesto dressing is poured into a pitcher. 6 pre-sterilized glass bottles are laid out, and the dressing is poured in. Caps are placed on the bottles, and shrouds are placed over these and around their necks. A heat gun is used to seal the bottles shut. Labels featuring Hope Blooms alumni get rolled onto each one. A date gun creates expiry dates, and these are added onto the labels.
A lot of people know we won Dragons Den, got the $40,000 investment for 4 out of 5 Dragons, which was pretty big, and that really helped us grow and helped us just expand from what we started from. So now Hope Blooms is now expanded, and we have 4 social enterprises. We have all year round youth programming, varying from summer and fall and winter, and now we're just sharing our story with the world. Oh, my life has been changed. I'm an immigrant. My family immigrated here when I was 6 years old. So coming here, total new continent, total new country, new culture. I had a culture shock, and Hope Blooms was the one place I was able to be myself, learn a lot of things about the world, learn a lot about other people, learn about other cultures, and just have an appreciation just for me, just for people in general.
The maple sage balsamic salad dressing process starts with the fresh sage. It's washed and dried and placed in a bowl. A handful gets tossed into the blender. The extra virgin olive oil is added next, followed by the balsamic vinegar. And then the maple syrup. A handful of garlic gets tossed in this recipe too, followed by fresh cracked pepper and sea salt. The lid gets placed on and this mixture is blended. After a taste test, it's poured into a pitcher. This fresh herb dressing is great for those that are vegan and lactose-free. The maple sage balsamic dressing is bottled the same way, and its unique label and expiry date are applied. Now, a shipment of dressing is gathered together for an order. Boxes are loaded into the official Hope Blooms delivery vehicle. 100% of the profits from the salad dressing social enterprise go to the youth involved. This comes back to them as $4,000 per year towards their post-secondary education as a student, or for them to put towards entrepreneurial goals.
The youth of the future, that's the way we look at it. Like, the next geniuses in this basement, the next leaders are in their basement right now. We're just trying to find them and just like streamline them and give an opportunity to be like, yo, there's a platform to do what you want to do and learn.
Another Hope Blooms social enterprise is called Possibilities. A large order of happy hibiscus tea needs to be filled, so youth from this social enterprise team begin to harvest mint. Spearmint, peppermint, and apple mint are gathered. Chef Tash washes and dries these, and then arranges them on a tray after discarding any stems. This tray goes into their dehydrator, which gets programmed for 19 hours. Once finished, the dehydrated mint is placed in a bowl. The hibiscus is bought from fair trade Senegalese female farmers who Hope Blooms has a partnership with. The hibiscus is cleaned before usage. When not in season in the Hope Blooms garden, freeze-dried blueberries are sourced from Nova Scotia Organic. All 3 ingredients go into small tea bags, which are weighed and then heated shut with an impulse sealer. Funds raised from Possibility sales help pay for the playground outside, as well as gardens on site, feeding families in the community. Both Possibilities and fresh herb dressings can be found at the Joe Howe Atlantic Superstore, other Loblaws stores, and also small boutiques.